Hey guys, I wasn't planning on doing this video, but it just dawned on me this morning that if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. So yeah, Michael Jordan is going to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame later on tonight, along with John Stockton and David Robinson. Now, I love John Stockton and David Robinson. Those are two of my favorite NBA players growing up, but I feel like Michael Jordan deserves his own video. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be a David Robinson and John Stockton video coming up, but I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, let's get right down to it. This is going to be kind of a Jordan career retrospective. All right, so let's go back to 1982, the NCAA championship game. We had North Carolina versus Georgetown, led by Patrick Ewing. Uh, in that game, Jordan hit the game-winning shot to secure North Carolina the championship. Yeah, this was the shot that really put Jordan on the map, and Jordan will even admit that before this shot, he really didn't know what he was doing. This is the shot that kind of like lit a fire under his ass, and after the shot, Jordan said to himself, nothing is going to stop me from here on out. And Jordan had a really good college career. He played 2 more years. I mean, even Dean Smith, North Carolina's coach, admitted that even he didn't know Jordan was going to become as good as he eventually did. So, um, that leads us to the 1984 NBA draft. Hakeem Olajuwon, Houston Rockets selected Hakeem Olajuwon at number one. That seemed like the logical thing to do. People are baffled that Portland passed up on Jordan for Sam Bowie, but you got to keep in mind Sam Bowie was a big man, and Portland already had Clyde Drexler, so you know it just seemed like the logical thing to do. Hindsight's always 20/20, but at the time that's what they were going for, a big man. So yeah, Jordan was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. Jordan had a great rookie year. He just shredded through defenses. I don't think anyone knew he was going to be that as good as he was that year. He made the All-Star team as a rookie. He started on the All-Star team as a rookie, and he was the 1984-85 NBA Rookie of the Year. So now we go to the next season. I think Jordan injured his foot. He was out for pretty much the whole year. I think he played maybe 26 games. And then, we had that classic showdown against the Boston Celtics in the 1986 NBA playoffs. That's when Jordan torched Larry Bird and the Celtics for 63 points in I believe it was game 2 of the first round against the Celtics. Yeah, that went into overtime. I mean, they still lost the game, but it was just an unbelievable performance by Jordan to take on the Celtics the way he did, because that Celtic team from '86 was stacked. They had a great team, one of the greatest teams in NBA history. So yeah, Jordan really, made a name for himself during that series, even though they got swept. So now 86-87 had Jordan finally healthy again. 86-87 was the year he averaged about 37 points a game, which was unreal. So yeah, that was like Jordan's highest scoring average and highest. I think he scored 3,000 points that year. So yeah, that was amazing. 1988, he was the 87-88. That was a magical year for Jordan. Probably his best year as far as statistics go. I mean, he was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year. He still averaged about 35 points a game. Was the 1988 NBA All-Star MVP. Unfortunately, this is where he ran into trouble against the Detroit Pistons in the playoffs. He got eliminated by Detroit in '88. '89, Jordan had another magnificent year, of course, and then unfortunately they lost. I mean, they did beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the NBA playoffs. That's when Jordan hit that shot in Game 5 to dethrone the Cavaliers. That shot when they inbounded it to Jordan, then he hit a shot over Craig Elo at the foul line to win that series. That was an amazing moment. The degree of difficulty to hit that shot, that was tough. But yeah, then they beat the Knicks, and then they met Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals, lost to them in 6 games. So yeah, I mean, that's 2 years in a row, losing to Detroit, and then 89-90. They just had pretty much the same year again. This year, Jordan had 69 points against Cleveland Cavaliers. That was his career high. It was 69 points. And then eventually they lost again to the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals in 7 games, actually. I mean, Scottie Pippen actually took most of the criticism in this series because he had a migraine headache in Game 7, so he was forced to sit out at the end of the game. Then they got blown out. So yeah, that was hard to take. I believe that was the first year Phil Jackson was the coach. So that leads us to the 1990-91 season. Here you can see Scottie Pippen starting to mature. And this season, the 91 season, was the first year where Jordan really had a good supporting cast. You could see, John Paxson started to emerge as more of a leader, and then Horace Grant started to, just get more with it and mature as well. So Jordan really had a supporting cast that year. Um, I mean, and the thing about it was his scoring average started to decrease. You had the team was more well rounded. So yeah, they swept the Knicks in the first round. They beat the Sixers in 5, and then they swept the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. They didn't let the Pistons take advantage of them like they did in the past. They would double team Jordan and foul the shit out of Jordan and Pippen, and they particularly Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman. But this time, Scottie Pippen was mentally tough. The Bulls were just mentally tougher with Phil Jackson as the head coach. And then finally, Jordan won his first NBA championship in 1991. They defeated the Los Angeles Lakers in uh, in 5 games. So yeah, that was Jordan's first NBA championship. Just a great image seeing Jordan win the trophy and the championship, crying while after the during the celebration. And you could just see all the hard work and everything was just paid off, and it was just a magical moment. And then 1991, 92, Jordan battled a lot of problems. There was a situation that occurred where there was a book that came out called The Jordan Rules, and it criticized Jordan for being selfish. He said, "Don't pass the ball to Bill Cartwright late in the game." So I don't know if a lot of that stuff was true, but he took a lot of criticism that year for. I remember he got thrown out of a game. He got ejected. He had some gambling problems. So yeah, he was battling a lot of situations over the next couple of years as far as that goes. But he was still great on the court. Chicago had a 67-15 record that year in '92. Their most memorable battle in the playoffs that year came against the Knicks. The Knicks took them to 7 games. Pat Riley was the new coach that year of the Knicks. He kind of adopted the Knicks to be this like ground and pound, rugged style, like the Detroit Pistons. They would foul every play. They would just be a more defensive oriented team than they were in the past. So yeah, Chicago had a really tough time with them. They just barely won that series in 7 games. That was a classic series. Then they beat Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they defeated the Portland Trailblazers in 6 to win the second. So Jordan could win his second NBA championship. The most memorable thing about that series, as far as Michael Jordan goes, was Game 1. I think Jordan set the NBA Finals record for most 3-pointers in a half, actually. I believe he had 7 or 8 3-pointers at the half. So that was an amazing moment. Now, 1992, the 1992 summer was pretty memorable. He played in the Olympics, the Dream Team. Now, Jordan didn't actually want to play on the Dream Team. The thing was, he puts in a lot of effort. I mean, puts in a lot of time. The playoffs are very demanding. So, whenever Jordan has the time to relax, he wanted to take that time and recover. But the problem, I mean, the thing that was intriguing for Jordan was just spending time with guys like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. So eventually he found himself on the Dream Team. He really didn't take it too serious. You watch some of those videos, you can see Jordan was just having a good time hanging out with Charles Barkley, playing golf. They all those guys knew they were going to win anyway because basketball wasn't as popular overseas as it is now. The game it didn't evolve to what it became. So yeah, then eventually. The 1993 season, Jordan and the Bulls found themselves in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. They were down 2-0 to the Knicks. After John Starks dunked on Jordan and Horace Grant. It looked like the Knicks were going to run away with that series, but then eventually, Chicago came back. They regrouped. They won 4 games in a row. So then, Chicago and Phoenix had a great NBA Finals. It was the Bulls versus the Suns in the finals. Jordan just went on a tear this series. I think he averaged like 30, 35 points in the series, or maybe I think it was like 37 actually. They just could not guard him. Dan Marley, Richard Dumas, Kevin Johnson. No one could stay with Jordan. He just torched the Suns that series. Yeah, so that ended in about 6 games, but I thought it was a classic series. Home court advantage really meant nothing in that series. All right, so then eventually, unfortunately, Michael Jordan's father got murdered, and then on top of that, him just being burned out from the Olympics and the grueling season, he just decided to retire. Eventually, he went to play baseball. It worked out in 1994. It seemed like he was happy. Then 95, he came back. It seemed like he really didn't have any intentions of coming back, but he found himself back in the Chicago Bulls.